Hello, welcome to Yoga Lounge. So tonight I thought I would do something a little different. I thought it'd be nice to do a little bit of restorative things. Let me just adjust my camera a little bit more. See if that's gonna work. Okay, you're seeing my chandelier here. Okay, I think that looks fine now. So, so restorative and relaxing. So the thing is, when we have to listen to our bodies and see, hi there, hi Teresa, listen to our bodies and see if we need to do something different than we assume. So today I was feeling kind of tired, and I thought, well, this would be a good time to do a more of a cool down kind of class. So something a little easy, a little bit longer holding. Listen to the body. I think sometimes when it gets really warm out, like when we're dealing with oppressive heat for a couple of days, it gets harder to be, really fiery. Here I am dressed in the most fiery outfit I have, but I'm not going to do, I know it's a little wacky, I'm not going to do fiery stuff. I'm going to try to do nice cool down things. In fact, I brought some props, so if you want to grab some pillows and things like that to use, feel free. I'm going to work on listening to our body and coming down to a cooling vibe. It's the end of the day, evening time. So let's start with that as a theme. Okay, so honor standing position on the mat. We're just going to wide now. Take a nice big inhale and exhale. And again, we'll rise up, open, and exhale. Inhale. Exhale, just pivot turn part way towards the foot. So you're taking it like on a diagonal position. Inhale, coming up. Pivot turn and taking it to the other diagonal. And we'll do two more like that. Follow your breath. And tune into your body. More time on each side. And coming back to the center now, and exhaling to the side. Inhaling back up, exhaling, leaning to the side. Round arms. Take the arm over and let it hang to the side. Up and overhead. Now come up to center. Let's do some windmill circles around. Circle, let your spine, let the twisting begin to happen. Within your comfort zone, take the arms as wide and open as you're comfortable with. Okay, and when you're ready, let's take toes facing the front. We'll just choose a leg and bring yourself down to a kneeling position. Rise up and fold. Let's take the toes, tuck them under, pressing the heel back and fold over the front leg. Now we're going to attempt to take an almost straight leg here. So if you need something to bring up your hands, you can. So the front leg is almost straight and we have a slight bend in the knee. Folding over, we're warming up the hamstring, letting the heel and the back be off the ground. So you have a lunge foot there. Taking a few more breaths. Even you you might even place your rib cage on your thigh. That might work for you. You can get your rib cage on your thigh and just feel into the back of your hamstring. You can even press and lengthen, press it along, working the back of your leg all the way up to the hip and then all the way down to the ankle. And just feel into that leg. Is it tense? One more time, and then release, and let's step back. Okay, bring yourself down to the knees, step the other leg forward. Inhale and sweep up. And we're exhaling, fingertips, tugging the back toes, under, lift up. We're going to eventually move towards straightening this front knee, so we have a slight bend in it. Folding over. Back heel is still lifted. And you can think about placing your rib cage on the thigh, and then let's take the hand and work the length of the back of your leg, coaxing the hamstring to relax, keeping a slight bend in the knee, doing like self-massage technique. A lot of us haven't had any massage or a lot of personal touch if you're living alone. So you can do certain things. You can work your calf muscle if you like. You can work the back of your hamstring in circular motion all the way up and then back down to the heel. And then let's release. And again, coming down. Now this time, let's take ourselves to child's pose, but place your hands on your lower back. We're going to attempt to work on this area of the kidney, so do little circles if you can reach. If not, maybe it's easier to reach with the back of your hands. You're going to do small circles. And think about breathing into that spot. Think about breathing into the kidneys and just do a few, working into that area. You can also work down into the hips. You can do little circles around the outside of your hips if you like as well. And we're going to come back up. Slowly work ourselves up to sit. Take your fingertips now to your trapezius area. We'll bring the elbows up to the ceiling. So I know normally we don't go for kind of a squeezed up look with the arms. Typically we'll say, you know, don't let your ears and shoulders come together. But in this position, it's fine. We're going to lower this down to elbows, and while we do that, we're dragging the trapezius muscle. And then we inhale, take the elbows up, and get a good grab and pull down, drag. Good, once we get there, we're going to do one more. We'll press it up. And really now pull your fingers back almost to the shoulder blades. Walk them down, get on that skin, and then grab. I'm going inside the tank so that I'm really getting on the skin. Grab and pull. And if you can do the pads of your fingers, and not the nail part, but the pads, and you can get in there and really pull it down. Separate those fingers a little bit. You're really going to relieve a lot of tension. Now let's leave the pads of the fingers kind of dug in there, almost like, you know, like a little bit of a deep tissue type of thing. And we'll slowly have a little half circle of the head and neck. Okay, release it down. Okay, now knee up to all the way up the thigh. So we're just going to press up and press it back down. Just a few more like that. When you get to the knee, you can give it a squeeze or a circle and come back up. So you can come down, give it a little bit circling around the knee, and then come back up. And again, we'll come down. If you can get in there a little bit more with your thumbs, sometimes your thumbs are a little bit stronger, you can get in there. feel free to do that. And come back up. And again, that nice pads of the finger dragging its way up and come back down. Well, maybe I'm going to start doing those ASMR videos next. You know, the ones where you make sounds, you make that dragging sound. I just made it by accident. The dragging sound, the chalkboard sound. So anyway, okay, so that's great. Let's take ourselves around and out now. And we'll walk back and forth on our mat. So this is a little movement for your pelvis. You pick one side up and pull it back. Now we're a little bit off kilter now. I'm facing diagonal. Next, pick the other side up and pull it back. Now I'm facing this diagonal. So we're going to walk our way to the back of the mat. You can place your fingers right into the hip crease. Push them in a little bit. Feel the release in the hip flexor area, especially if you're very tight there. And once we get to the back, let's come forward. So pick it up, slide, pick it up, slide. Until we get back to about the middle of the mat. Okay. And now we'll widen out to about the edge of your mat. Heels can be right off the edge. We're going to pick our knees up, dig the heels in, and reach into the center. Now, I want you to remember that area where you did your circles around the kidneys. So feel into that spot. We'll take a hold of the inside of our feet, inside arches. And we're reaching forward into that space. Your elbows are lying over your shin. And just lengthen the spine into the space. You might notice a little bit happening in through the hip flexor area, the hip crease. So at this point, let's take and wrap around the outside edge. And also, again, go a little bit deeper now. Just let your head and neck relax down. You can, at the end, you can draw your chin in towards the collarbone. Good. Now if it so happens that your knees start turning out and you're creating kind of a really, almost a very wide Supta Baddha Konasana, let that happen. Let the knees kind of travel out, so now you have this real open position, and maybe even walk into it a little bit further. So maybe walk into it, perhaps placing your elbows down, forearms down, something like that. Hip opening in a sort of a gentle fashion. And we'll press back up to sitting. Right, okay. We'll stretch out one leg. Now let's bring, I'm doing the right leg first. So we're walking the arms underneath your thigh, underneath the knee. And we're going to take the foot up and down a few times. With an inhale to raise it, with an exhale to lower it. And you're attempting to keep the knee as close to your body as you can. So not to be too far out here and do it, but bring the knee really close to your chest as much as you can, and then we're trying to straighten and straighten. Now what we're going to do is when we get it up there, we're going to take the other hand and hold on behind that hamstring. Give that hamstring some support. Just let it know that you're there, you're not going to overdo it. And just the warmth of your hand, it's like a reassuring, comforting thing. You're reassuring and comforting your own muscle. And then just do a few more press raises while you have your nice warm hand there. Good. Okay, now let's slide up to the calf. Hold that belly of the calf now. And again, feel how that works. You can put it lower and higher. Hold on to those spots. Let's just do a little bit of flex and point while we're here. So flex and point. You feel your muscles working. And you're holding on. Okay, now let's take hold of the bottom of the foot and really, really bring your knee in. You bring your knee in right underneath your underarm if you can. All the way in. Now, of course, watch your knee. If you have issues with your knee, please be mindful of your position and your ability to bend it. And from there, once we have that knee drawn all the way in, we'll do one more raise of the leg to the ceiling. And that's probably going to be your maximum stretch. You can take your toes, press them back, press the heel away from you. I'm still keeping a little micro bend in there. Don't want to lock the hamstring, lock the knee. Okay, and let's let that one go. Feel the length differential now. Feels like your right leg went way past the left leg. So bring the left leg in and hold on. Same idea, we're going to take a few presses, kick presses up, and we're going to hold the back of the thigh at some point. So I'm slinging it across the same elbow side and then I'm holding on with the opposite hand. And I don't want to just put my hand there. I really want to feel the warmth of my hand. I want to give it like almost a self-massage technique. So you can, rub in if you like. You can press in a little bit or just hold the muscles and really feel the warmth and feel the healing hand reaching through into your own muscle structure. Okay. All right, reach up and let's take the calf. Hold on to the calf. And we can do some circles. You can feel that nice warm energy. Maybe even squeeze and release is a massage technique. So I had done a massage for a number of years and, I have a license still and I have the skincare license as well. So a lot of these things are, I'm saying self-massage, but they are real techniques. So this is squeeze and release when you grab that larger part of the muscle and then we'll bring it in and out. So now you can maybe, I think the next thing we did was go to the foot itself and bring it in towards you. Maybe hold on, squeeze and release, rub it out. And then finally, we'll keep that knee close to you and let the foot go up, up, up. And here we'll do the point and flexing. So you can feel the muscles working now. Point and flex. We're trying to keep the knee really close to our shoulder, chest area, whatever. Point and flex. Okay, great. Release it down. Double check. Sit up really tall now. And just feel the backs of your legs connecting to the ground. Let's do the point and flex here so that you can feel the muscles connecting to the ground. Okay. All right, now passively stretching the hips into a gravity position. So we'll come to kind of a wide knee. Now, if you have a wood floor, this will work a little bit better, but it can be done on a carpet. But so if you have a wood floor, you're trying to get the knees a little bit outside off your mat. And then we walk it forward. Now the position of the hips is not child's pose, although that's a good place to begin. And if that's where you're comfortable, please work with that. But the real gravity position happens when you pick your hips up to line them up with your knees. And then, now I'm on my forearms or I'm holding myself lifted a little bit. I'm resisting the legs going out. So I'm just not letting them splay out uncomfortably. I'm using that isometric squeeze technique. And the other thing I can do is let the knees travel out now. Just as much as feels an edge for me, and then I'm going to try to resist, squeeze it back in a little bit. And then I might let more gravity take over. You need to be very mindful of your body right now. You have to see what's feeling comfortable and what's too much stretch. You certainly don't want to overdo anything, especially when you are using the gravity positions to help. So just a little bit more. So you're lifted essentially. You know, you're not really like going all the way down. Your hips are higher than your knees, and hopefully just about in line with your knees. Again, though, if child's pose is where you want to or need to be, then you can do that. I'm just going to take another breath or two. And then we'll climb forward so that the hips move forward, forward, forward now. And here you might be able to set your body down. And at this point, a lot of people's feet pop up because of the openness of the hip and so forth. So that's okay. If you can climb forward, set your body down, and maybe bring your hands in front of you, you can take a triangle position. Thumbs together, index fingers pointing, making a triangle, and placing your forehead down. So this position, if you look at yourself from above, it looks like sort of very much like some kind of an insect form or something like that. And definitely looks like a different type of species when you're looking at this position from above. So it's kind of an interesting, you can let go into it. I like to think of these things as previous spots on the human development chain, you know, like going through marine life into walking on the earth and so forth. And, you know, I like to think of these things as places that we are in our collective memory, that we might actually have some connection. Take a few more breaths, connecting to the earth. We'll bring the hands underneath and stretch the legs out finally. Now you might feel a little bit going on in the crease of the hips, so we can just do some gentle side to side rolls. You can roll all the way to the side and press yourself all the way to the side. Even letting your hand stretch above you, and then coming back to the side, stretching the other arm above you. It's nice to go into like a soft tree form here. So just take your leg up into bent knee position, and then we'll roll again to the other side and take your knee up into bent knee position. And one more round. You can even touch your foot back if you'd like to get a stretch for the front of the quad. When we come to the next time we come to the side, let's hold on to the ankle and we'll stretch. You can do it with your toe touching down, just feel it stretching through, and then come back around to the other side. Take a hold of your ankle and stretch it back. Again, if you want to touch down, you can do that, or just keep it balanced. Stretch in the front of your thigh, quadricep area. That feels so good right now. So we did a lot of stretching hamstrings, so let's stay a little longer in this pose. And then we'll switch and stay longer on the other side. Let's see, we got time here. Okay, and let's come to our backs. So I want to show you something here with, I don't know how many of you have any sort of prop like this, exercise ball prop, but this one is blown up fairly small. It's not overdone. It's very tiny actually. So I like to come on this, roll onto it, and allow for a really nice heart open. And it's very supported, so I don't feel, you know, I'm not doing anything that's particularly challenging, but it does give you a really nice stretching through the front body. You can play around and move the ball around a little bit more. You can do more of a active getting that. And what happens is it's supporting the back, which is a little bit unusual for a bridge pose. It's usually when you're doing bridge or wheel, there's nothing really lifting the back unless you're doing maybe like a bolster support. However, after a while, your neck might start to feel a little tense with it. So what I'd say is bring your hands under just like a sling and support your head and neck so that you can stay longer. But if you have something like that, a ball, it's kind of a fun thing to play around with. Okay, now in the meantime, you can get your pillows and let's lie on our back. We're going to come down. I want this to roll towards us. Okay, so you're coming onto your back and let's take the restive position with feet out wide, knees coming in, and let your hands just be, for the moment, clap them right onto the hip joints. We're going to open them out into Shavasana, but for now, let's just settle our backs. You can work side to side with your shoulders. Feel connected to the earth. This playlist that I have, this whole first song, is called First Chakra. So it is an earth. So there is some reason for my outfit, even though it's not fiery. So, okay, and then open your hands out into your resting Shavasana. Feel free to do it this way with your feet flat on the ground and your knees moving towards each other. Or if the traditional corpse pose is comfortable for you, you can do that as well. Oh, I'm sorry about that noise. bring your awareness back to your body and some movements, your hands, your feet, arms and legs. Gently increasing your movements till you feel yourself in a full stretch. And on an exhale, bringing the knees in, making yourself into that small ball. Rocking back and forth, side to side. And see if you can touch into that most ancient part of yourself, those memories of even being in another type of body in a different species. And as you come up very slowly from the earth to your sitting position, using your spine, really be aware of how long it took for these changes to happen over centuries and evolution for these changes to move through and create new species. So give yourself, a really good time. Give yourself appreciation for the changes that you do make in your body, and don't expect overnight shifts how could that be the case, really? So we'll come back up to sitting. We'll place the hands, prayer position. Let's chant one Om. Peace to all of you. Namaste. Thank you for coming. I hope you enjoyed. Hi, Iwona. Nice to see you there. Jordan. Hey, Lee. Wow, cool. All right, bye everybody. Thank you for coming.